Welcome to another video, and this chess puzzles broke Stockfish, and this fish, yeah, my finger is here, this fish that you see on the bottom of the screen doesn't feel good, because it got destroyed by this chess puzzles. And we'll start by the first one. And you can see Mona Lisa in Louvre, in Paris, in France, but this puzzle deserves to be there instead of this freaking Mona Lisa. Because this puzzle will blow your mind. Because can you believe that those queens, will eventually be there on the board, while this knight and queen won't? Alright, I don't want to do this thing, so let's just start. Bam! I don't want you to solve this, because, guys, I don't think Magnus can solve this, alright? Unless he saw it somewhere, it's just impossible that he can solve this puzzle. King a4, queen a8 check. So now if some b5 move is gonna follow, there is simple queen a8, queen a7 checkmate. So black gotta do something else. So they just come back with king a5. Queen a8 check. Alright, we can consider some b4, but after c takes b4 takes king a6. Unfortunately, this king runs away and black are winning. So instead of going for b4, and it looks like it's a good move, but in reality it just isn't, white played queen a8. Great move. Now king b5, and now it comes to a very crucial point. So as I said, nobody can solve this. I gave this position to Stockfish. You can just, go to analysis tab on chess.com and just give it a try. It won't show you the right solution unless you play the first move. And I'll show you some puzzles next, and Stockfish wasn't able to find them unless, I gave him the hints. I gave the machine the hints. Yeah, in reality, humans are still the power of this chess world. Alright, knight c7, queen c7, and now a4 check. And now the only square for the king is to go to c4. And now king, maybe tries to go to b3, so what check can we do next? Of course, queen a6, king d5, and now somehow, the king starts running, and if this king runs somewhere here, it will survive, it will be alright. So check from this side, but you might say, Romka, they're trading the queens by playing queen d5, and what have you done? I mean, now you have to trade the queens, right? And you are completely losing. They will promote second queen and checkmate you. But who said that to me? Hold my beer in this hand, because white have king c2, and you might wonder, what about this queen? You forgot about this queen, you freaking bozo, you loser, you. Alright, the idea is that after queen g8, e4, black have no defense from b3 checkmate. Can you imagine that in the following position, black have no defense from checkmate even though they're up to queens? That's mind-blowing. And black have no other moves, because basically b3 is being threatened. If they move this queen somewhere, queen h7 is the only check they can do, but queen h7, alright, there is queen h7, and once again there are no checks on this diagonal. b3 checkmate is still threatened, and let's say some g2, b3, right? So let's say queen, queen c6 or something, then there is queen d3. So what if queen d6? There is queen g8, queen d5, and b3 once again is a checkmate. Let's move on to the next puzzle. And the next puzzle is a bit easier, and you might actually try to find the solution in this position. As you can see, our knight on f5 is looking really good and is trying to attack g7 square. This bishop is looking towards the square as well. And yeah, I mean, white are down in material, but they have an absolutely mind-blowing and insane first move. And you always gotta keep in mind that if, let's say, this pawn is not here, knight h6 is gonna be a checkmate. So it's a very wild combination of pieces here. And what white is doing here is playing queen h6. The idea is simple, trying to checkmate this way, right? If g takes h6, look, this bishop covers all the squares on this diagonal. All we gotta do now is check with our knight, which is done by knight h6. So, and there are no other, good moves, because knight f6, queen g7, checkmate, and last move to consider is bishop f6. You protect, but not for long, because after bishop f6, once again, if g takes f6, queen g7, checkmate, if knight f6, queen g7, checkmate, and if g takes h6, taking the queen, knight h6 is a very beautiful bishop and knight checkmate. Let's get to the next puzzle, and let me know if you solved this one. So, and this is another position where Stockfish was like, man, I can't find you the solution, you gotta use different programs, you gotta use better computer. So here we will start by looking at the first move, which is kind of easy, rook a8. So the idea is, we have a good idea here. So rook a8 basically make sure that this rook won't move from h-file, and now it's gotta stay on either, it can go to g7, it can go anywhere on 7th rank. The only move it can do is to play rook h6, because otherwise it's rook h8, rook h7, checkmate. So they play rook h6. And even at this point, Stockfish was like, I can't find you the winning move. I solved it like in a matter of like 10 seconds. 10 seconds, Stockfish was like, on chess.com, I'm pretty sure Stockfish on, let's say, in other apps or, deeper version will solve it quite quickly, but here on chess.com, I'm not sure why it's so slow, but it couldn't calculate like basic winning solution, and the winning solution is to play rook a1, rook g1, rook g3, setting up rook h3 checkmate. And now they gotta play, and this is a checkmate, and you might ask me why not go for this right away. The idea is you can't go for this right away because they will set up counterplay against you, and if rook g3, now rook f2 wins the game. So you gotta be very careful. And now if, let's say, you go back, this, I think you're still winning, because now let's say rook e8, you're just, skipping a move, and now rook gotta go to h6, and now you once again go this way. So white are completely winning. So now black are just not on time to set up this counterplay, and white win the game. Let's get to the next puzzle. So this one, unfortunately, I skipped one of them, but that's fine. Last puzzles, less work for you. This one is insane. This one, Stockfish, nah guys, don't even try. Don't even try. Because now, alright, once it thought for a while, once I thought this the solution, it shows mate and 45 moves. But before that, it couldn't calculate. Computer thought it is a draw. And in reality, it looks like it is a draw. Because look, black pawns are blocking this in a very good way, so that the only piece white can move is this queen. And unfortunately, you can't just mate this king with your queen only. Because, if this pawn was maybe on a7, then, you have this checkmate attacks. But here in reality, white just gotta calculate and gotta find a winning plan. And the winning plan is the following one. So we basically try to get the king as far as possible to the edge of the board. Not on this side though, but to basically run it towards h1. You can let me know in the comments if some of the moves were not correct, but it is a winning position. Queen f6, king g4, queen f5, we continue, running this king to the edge of the board, queen f4, this, queen f3, queen f2, and now we don't play queen f2 because this would have been a draw. So after queen f2, the only move is to play king h1, right? And now, once this king is so far away from this b8 square, we can finally implement our plan by playing queen a6, king g2, and now pawn is running towards b8, and white win the game. That's actually one of the most insane chess puzzles I've seen in my life, and let me know in the comments if you could solve it, because, I was thinking, yeah, probably I found the right idea, but it was kind of hard to run it towards h1 square specifically. So, and the next puzzle is the one you see on your thumbnail. which is this one. And I mean, it's just insane. Because here, white play, alright, King A1, that's the first move, the easiest one. But then something insane happens. So here, the only move black can do is to play Queen A1 or Queen A2. And guess what, guys? So Queen A1 is played. And you can pause the video, you can try to find the winning move here. Because it is insane that basically H4, most obvious looking move, is actually a draw. While H3 is winning. And can you guess why? I'll show you what happens after H4. So H4 is played, Queen A2. H5, Queen A1. H6, Queen A2. H7, Queen A1. And now, of course, knight under promotion, because if you put the queen or any other piece, unfortunately this knight covers this crucial G2 rook, and the only square we could checkmate is probably from G2, but so of course, you know, black can't do anything and white couldn't do anything with other pieces, so knight. Knight G6, knight F4, knight E6, knight C5, knight D7, knight B6, knight C4, knight A5, queen A2. So this was H4. This was, the most obvious move, and unfortunately white have to continue playing for a draw, because knight B3, queen B3, they're obviously gonna lose. And all they gotta do now is just stay there and do nothing. So eventually the game will end after 50 moves by 50 move rule. So, but H3 move instead wins the game, because while this queen moves back and forth, white will be just on time to checkmate and take this rook with checkmate. So they play queen A2, H4, knight same maneuver, knight G6, knight F4, knight 6, knight C5, knight D6, knight D6, knight C4, knight A5, queen A1, and unfortunately here it is white to move and not black, because in the H4, queen A2 would have been possible, but after H3, imagine you would play this game in your real life and you play H4 and this only draw, but H3 wins the game. But here, knight B3 is a very, very sweet checkmate. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this, because that's an absolutely insane, mind-blowing solution to one of the craziest chess puzzles I've ever seen. H3 against H4, like who would have thought of this? But yeah, very nice puzzles which demonstrate how important chess tempo in this game. Guys, again, let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this type of puzzles. I'll see you in the next videos. Bye bye.